And I will ask the representative of MACORP to make the presentation. And the presentation basically jumps off from where Mr. Hines stopped. How much does it really cost to get this business going? Owning and operating costs for excavators, for example, and everything. But I will leave them to make the presentation. Please welcome him.
Thank you. Okay, good morning. Thank you very much for having me today, members of the head table and guests. This morning I'm going to be talking about the business side of mining from our standpoint of view. We are involved in mining and we have done some exercises to help our customers to understand what they are dealing with when they try to start a new venture in mining. There's some other considerations of the mining of this fleet management process that include selection, project management, repair and maintenance, and rebuild and replace. But today we're going to be concentrated on the business management side. Before I start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Guillermo Escárraga. I am the CEO of MACORP. I've been with the company for quite some time. We have traveled extensively in the whole of Guyana. We visited our customers pretty much everywhere where there's mining. We have been there. We know the challenges that the miners face, and we are trying to do our part to help, because when we do get involved with miners, as the previous presenter said, we take risk because we do financing. And it's in our best interest that the miners that take machines from our company are successful. We don't want to see anybody failing or anybody not able to continue their operation, because it affects us as well. So we do our best to help in any way that we can. And what we have done in our financing process is to establish a series of requirements that include the feasibility study. And I think that is a really good starting point, because we ask miners about their projects and how they see their operations going forward. And we establish a baseline, and we try to understand where they are to see if we can assist with the financing of the equipment. And we help them with this because the requirements now are very comprehensive. So we require financial statements that include income statements and balance sheets. Some of the miners have difficulties in producing those documents, but we help them and we do it together. But we also require gold declarations and land permits and permits to mining and of course taxes, compliance, and other legal requirements. So we're helping because we all have to move in that same direction, that this is a structured industry. Cost. I have put together a little thing called cost tree, and this is what all of the miners deal with in Guyana. This comes from our experience, comes from talking to our customers, comes from all of the information we've gathered in many years doing this, and we have come with a very comprehensive analysis of what will be the cost of owning a machine and operating a machine for a gold operation. On the left-hand side, the right-hand side in the screen, you have the owning cost. And the owning cost is basically depreciation expense, which is you take the cost of the machine and you divide it by the number of hours that the machine will work, and you will get more or less $11 an hour. This is talking about a machine that is in the vicinity of $150,000 to $200,000, and the machine will work for approximately 15,000 hours. And so if you do the math, you'll get $11 an hour. Then there's interest, which is roughly $1, and you have also licenses and insurance, and it's roughly another $1. So we have cost of owning is $13. And then if you go to the other side, you see the operating cost is 41. Then people oftentimes are confused when they think that the expensive part is to acquire the machine. And that's not the case. The expensive part is to operate the machine. And it's expensive if you cannot produce what you intend to produce with this machine. And this is where most people find themselves in trouble. Because most of the people that come to us, and they do present the paperwork and they do present the down payment, they are very likely to be successful in their application and they'll be financed by us. But then we do a close monitoring of their operations because it depends on the gold production for them to be above water. If they can't do this, then is where you find that miners get in trouble. Now, operating cost is 41.56. And now you see that the highest cost on this side is fuel, because a lot of fuel is used in the gold mining sector. And so half or almost 3/4 of the operating cost goes to fuel, $28. This is a machine that may burn 18 liters an hour. And to have a drum of fuel or a liter of fuel in the interior, it will be probably $1.5, maybe sometimes $2 because of the difficulties of bringing the fuel into the interior. It's roughly $1 here in the city, but over there it's more expensive. And then you have wear parts, and undercarriage, and PM, and repair, and that accounts for the rest of the cost. You end up having an own and operating cost of roughly $55 an hour. That is the basic. Everybody deals with that. Everybody, no matter what they're doing, this is what they will deal with. How this turns into business. Then what we did, we run some additional numbers to understand what other costs are associated to running an operation with one excavator. So this is total cost per unit of production. And I want you to draw your attention to the two numbers highlighted in green. Now, from the previous slide, you saw that the cost of operation is $54.6 an hour. Then we have operator, other employees, food expenses, transportation, CAM expenses, other equipment. And if you add that up, it goes to $131 an hour. If you multiply that by 84, which is the hours of a week on a 12-hour week shift, and we're not talking about working at night, only 12 hours a day, your cost per week is $11,000, roughly $2.3 million. So this is what the miners have to spend on a weekly basis, $2.3 to $2.5 million in cost. Now, what do they get from that? The excavator production can be measured in cubic meters per hour. And we have done a very conservative estimation of meters per hour, and we have put 120 meters per hour on an excavator. And we have assumed that the stripping ratio is 1 to 10, and that the land contains 0.3 grams per cubic meter. So every ton, there's 0.3 grams per cubic meter on a 1 to 10 stripping ratio. Some lands are richer, some lands will be different. This is inherent to the land where you're working. And that's why prospection is absolutely important, because if you don't get this baseline, chances are you're gonna get in trouble. Now, with this production of 120 cubic meters per hour, you're likely to get 302 grams of gold per week. That translates to 10.6 ounces. 10.6 ounces a week will give you a revenue with a gold around 1,200 of $12,800. It means that your profit per week will be $1,700. Your cost of producing 1 ounce of gold is $1,036. This is a base case scenario. This is what everybody confronts when they are dealing with mining. As you can see, this is not small money. This is 11,000 US dollars on a weekly basis, is 40-something thousand dollars per month. But you could be making 13% if this is your case. Now, what's the only way that we can improve? Because the line is what it is. So we have a couple of things that we can do. First, we can optimize the maintenance costs. And now you have, instead of 54, 52. At the end, you do the same math, and you get $1,900. Instead of 13, you got almost 15% profit per week. Now your cost of producing 1 ounce of gold is 1,020 US dollars. You optimize by less fuel consumption. Instead of 52, you get 46.9 cost per hour per equipment. Everything else has remained constant. Production remained constant, everything is the same, but now you're consuming less fuel. Now you get $2,300 of profit. This is 18.7%. What happens if you optimize your production? What happens if the machine can do more? With the same arrangement, there is where you're making the money, because there is where this industry will be sustainable. That we are more productive with the equipment that we have, that we can do more in the same period of time. If we are not able to do that, then we're going to struggle, and we're going to struggle big time. Especially because, as you can see here, this is 1 unit of production. The only way that we can sustain is by producing more, and that's why larger mines have a better chance of surviving, because of economy of scales. And that is an issue, it is what it is, but there's some things that we can do. And the best way that we can do this is by improving the use of technology, but also by training our operators. This is absolutely critical, that the operator knows what he's doing, that he can do the job faster and safer. If we can do this, then we will be successful. And we've seen a lot of our customers being very successful, because if you do the math here, $2,000 per week of profit is $100,000 per year. So within 1 year, you can acquire the second machine. And within 2 years, you have a fleet. And that's what we've seen some customers do. So some people are doing it really well because they are managing this. It's all about management. Some people cannot do it because they fail by addressing this particular challenge. So we've seen people that started with 1 machine and now they have 5, 6 machines, and they are doing it because they understand that this is the only way that they can survive. So if we become more productive, instead of 120 cubic meters per hour, we do 20% more. So we have optimized by 15% less maintenance, 20% less fuel, and 20% more productivity. Now we are 144 cubic meters per hour. And you can see the jump. It's the same site, it's the same machine, it's the same people, but now you are almost $5,000 better off. This is 32% of profit. Now we're talking about $200,000 in any given year. This is possible. It's possible to do it. One thing we advise our customers is to do prospection. You cannot go to a place where you don't have some degree of certainty that the gold is there. If you start digging and you don't find anything, very soon you're going to be in trouble. Very, very soon. Because the cost is going to be there no matter what. This is what we want to convey today. The cost is there. No matter what, is $12,000 or $11,000 per week. Now, if you can't find the gold because A, you didn't do prospecting, or B, you do not know how to operate the machines, or you don't have the skills, then that's a recipe for disaster. And in our case, it means repossession. And we also have cases of repossessed machines where we are forced to go and bring the machine back because the customer could not pay. So we have the two cases. We have cases of success and we have cases of failure. Both are present in the industry. We want to see more cases of success. The way we can see cases of success is by training ourselves, by understanding what we're dealing with, by doing our due diligence, by improving in our productivity. And we can do that with the use of technology. There's more technologically advanced machines these days that can do the work faster, that can do the work safer, that do not require as many people around doing certain tasks, that are able to consume less fuel, and that are more productive. This is the way forward. The only way we can advance in the mining industry, medium and small, is by the embrace of the use of technology. Sometimes we talk to our customers and they are so clinged to the past. They don't want to see anything electronic. They don't want to see anything with a computer. They don't want to see anything that requires learning something new. And we understand that. They've done this traditionally, but this is not sustainable. We need to evolve. The industry needs to evolve. The industry needs to embrace technology. And we're here to help, because that's what we have done over the past years. We do seminars. We go to the mining areas. We do our best to help people understand new concepts and new technologies. These machines now are connected to satellites. You know exactly where the machine is. You know exactly how much fuel you're burning. You know exactly if there's any maintenance that might be outstanding. You can do that. You can get all of that information from a computer in Georgetown or anywhere in the world. You can communicate with the machine. The machine will tell you everything that is happening out there. But sometimes there's resistance for this new technology. But resistance will not do any good to anyone. We need to go to embrace the new technologies. And if we can do this collectively, then we will be successful. If we fail to do this, then we're going to be struggling. And we may not be able to continue small and medium-scale mining in Guyana. So the message is, let's move forward. There's tools out there. Some of the miners, on the flip side, have told us that they have started using drones for prospection. I think that is a great idea. They say that if they put a drone up there and they can see from above, maybe they can identify where the gold is moving. Some have said that this is an innovative idea. And some of the machines, now we're putting it with drones. I am not a geologist. I am not able to say whether that will work or not, but some people are trying. Maybe there's some other ways to do better prospecting. But that is a must. Prospecting needs to be done in the right way so it can guarantee certain production goals. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And with that, I would like to thank you. And if there's any questions or comment, you're most welcome. Thank you very much.